I just saw Marty Supreme, which is the latest film, I think the seventh film from director Josh Safdie, who had previously co-directed films with his brother Benny. But since I don't know when exactly this happened, but the two of them split up as directors and they both went solo. And Marty Supreme is now Josh Safdie's first outing as a solo director. And what's funny is that Benny Safdie had his first outing as well the same year, 2025, with the Smashing Machine. So it was interesting to see how the two compared. And I don't know if there's I think there needs to be more films made by either director to get a full grasp on, I think, what each of them specifically brought to their previous projects. But all I can really say for now is that Marty Supreme seems to be more in line with what the Safdie brothers as a duo were known for. Just as an aside, the Smashing Machine, it was good, but it was almost kind of like the total opposite of what the Safdie brothers, their trademark of what they made their name with. The high anxiety, the stress, the panic, the chaotic, claustrophobic films. The Smashing Machine was a lot more subdued and low key and I guess introspective. But this isn't a review about the Smashing Machine. It's about Marty Supreme, which, like Uncut Gems, like Good Time, as I said, it's this tense, anxiety-inducing panic attack of a movie that follows a deeply unlikable and aggressive and confrontational and irresponsible main character played by Timothée Chalamet. I had high hopes going into this. I was expecting something great, and I did get something great. Although I do have some criticisms about them, but I only saw it a few hours ago, so I probably do need to let it sit with me, or maybe even watch it again to kind of, smooth out all of my thoughts about it. But I'll just give my some quick opinions on it right now. I think that Timothée Chalamet delivers probably his best performance yet. It's the first time where I saw the character and not Chalamet. He's, as I said, he's a real unlikable bastard, and it's obvious that he's written and performed to be as arrogant and as narcissistic and as unlikable and detestable as possible. And his performance is just so on point. It's just so direct and fiery that he basically sells the entire film. Daniel Lopatin, I think is how you pronounce his name, also known as Oneohtrix Point Never, did the score, which was a highlight for me. It had the same kind of chill, kind of ethereal, synthy, electronic kind of style that he's known for, but this might be his best score yet, I think. Just from having watched the movie, it might be. It almost feels like cheating, I think, because the score is so exciting that it can make anything seem intense, even like ping pong. And the rest of the cast, obviously, were great. There's like an all-star cast in here. There's Gwyneth Paltrow. This is like her first time showing up in a movie in maybe 6 or 7 years. There's Odessa A. Zion, who was very good in the Hellraiser reboot, and it's good to see that she's getting some popularity. There's Kevin O'Leary, which I think he's from Dragon's Den is the British one. Shark Tank. He's not a. Sorry. I think what's surprising is that he's not an actual actor. He's like some CEO. I've never really heard of him before this movie, but it's surprising how great his performance is, because he really sells it. Like, I thought he was like an actor who's been doing this for years, but no, apparently this is like his first real role. There's Abel Ferrara, the same guy who did Bad Lieutenant and what's that other movie, Siberia, with Willem Dafoe. I wasn't expecting to see him in this, but he's very good. He plays very I don't know. He fits right in with the Safdie aesthetic, I think. The kind of real, like, rugged, mean kind of. He has like a weathered kind of face. Like he's been through some shit. And he's intense, and he's a threat. And then Tyler, the creator. I think is this his first. Yeah, I think this is his first acting performance as well. Like real acting performance. Yeah. He was very good. He was very charismatic. He was very energetic. I hope to see him in more stuff based on this, and I'm just going to glance through the rest of the cast to see, because there's so many people in this. I want to see if there's anyone else worth pointing out. Oh yeah, Penn Jillette was in this. I didn't even recognize him. I didn't even know until after the movie. Like I knew Penn Jillette was in it, and I was like, who did Penn Jillette play? And when I found out, I was like, I did not recognize him at all. Like he's completely transformed. I don't know. He's unrecognizable in this. And then also shout out to Luke Manley, who again I think is his first time performing. But yeah, he just looks like a character actor, And he, again, surprised to find out he's not a professional. I can see him making a career for himself because he's just got the look. He looks like someone who's lived a life, if that makes sense, like the way he performs, the way his even like things like like the way his hair was styled and everything, he fit very well. He fit naturally into the story and the character, and yeah, I guess for some people acting just comes naturally to them, or I guess it's the director. I guess the director helped a lot. So yeah, it's I'll just get into some kind of, I don't know if there'll be like criticisms, but these are just more kind of like observations or just thoughts I've been having. This is a very similar film to Uncut Gems in the sense that they're both anxiety-inducing and high-stress experiences. Marty Supreme is just a constant spiral of chaos. Like, things can go from bad to worse before you even have a chance to process any of it. Sometimes you might even know where the story is heading, but it can still evoke this sense of dread because it's like watching a car crash in slow motion. Just some I don't know if you call these like really criticisms, more of like observations, but as I've said, it's similar to Uncut Gems, but it hits a lot of the same beats, I thought, and it reminded me a lot of it. And I guess after there was a certain point where I remember thinking like it's not, I don't know, I just remember thinking like I was being reminded of Uncut Gems like a little bit too much, the experience of it. And I watched Uncut Gems not too long ago, and so the memory of that film was like refreshed in my mind. And I do have to say Uncut Gems is superior to this. I've just found it to be so much more just high impact and streamlined, whereas this film, there obviously is enough differences to make it distinct and its own thing and not feel like a retread, but a lot of the key moments definitely felt familiar, which I guess is unfortunate. And also, just as another, I guess, criticism, which again might be resolved, if I give this film a chance to sit with me, or if I give it a second watch, is that I kind of found that there wasn't that much to kind of glean from it in terms of like subtext. And not to say that there isn't any. Like, obviously, like I feel like that would be a very what's the word? That'd be a very dismissive thing to say. But I kind of found that this film worked more as like a surface level entertainment thriller thing, if that makes sense, which I guess it makes it sound like, it sounds harsh to say that about it, but that's kind of what it is, where like the most enjoyment I got out of this movie was there in the moment watching it, and the thrills and the excitement and stress and anxiety I felt watching it. Whereas I kind of like the movies that I usually love are the ones where they sit with me, I'm mulling them over, I'm like just like working away at it. It's almost like the movie is just being like chipped away at in my mind, after I've watched it. Whereas Marty Supreme, I kind of feel like I've gotten everything this movie has to say on a deeper level on a single watch. Like, obviously, again, I'm not saying this for certain, and this is just my impression fresh coming out of the theater. But yeah, I did kind of wish that there was like a little bit more going on under the surface, or at least have something more interesting, because I kind of found like some of its statements on, like, I guess, capitalism and hustle culture and the American dream or whatever, to be like a little bit, like, it is just a little bit obvious. But that's about it for criticisms. Really, is like what it reminded me of the director's previous film, and I don't know if I'm 100% if I got the whole film on a single watch. I don't know yet. So even my two biggest criticisms of this film, it might sound damning or whatever, but I'm kind of like lukewarm on these criticisms, so they're not really holding it back all that much. So I just have to re-emphasize that this is a very good film, and it's one of the best films of 2025 in my opinion. It's tense, it's sweaty, and it's aggressive. Every scene is engaging. I think I need to re-emphasize, like, when I say that I enjoyed it on a surface level, is that how good of a surface level experience this film is, because from a directing, editing, and presentation and production standpoint, this thing is just so goddamn just refined and focused and polished, that it is a spellbinding and riveting surface level experience. So I'm not dismissing it, saying that it's you can only enjoy it as like I'm not saying that it's like a turn your brain off and watch it film. Like, no, there is like a lot of intent and effort going into the the layout of each scene, and the storyboarding and the editing and the score, like how all of this comes together, and the performances too, obviously. Like, this is a one of the best directed films, I think, of the year. And like, again, it's 2.5 hours long, and it doesn't feel like that in the slightest. Like, the whole thing just flew by. So overall, I'm feeling I guess, low 9 out of 10 on this. It's still a 9, but it's a very low one. So yeah, that's my those are my thoughts on Marty Supreme. Is there anything I missed? Because I guess by the sounds of it, I probably did, but we'll see how I feel on a second watch.